You want 40 Imperial uniforms and one of their warships.
Yeah, surely the Alliance has captured ships laying around somewhere. As for the uniforms, find them however you can?
Sounds so easy. I realize it's to prevent intelligence leaks, but you're making a lot of demands without telling me the first thing about this plan.
Tell you what, I'll treat you to a glass of cognac after.
Not good enough. I want no less than 3.
Consider it done. By the way, I've got one more request I'd like to make.
Name it.
Given what's happened with the Patriotic Knight Corps, I'm concerned about leaving Julian by himself. Would it be possible to dispatch the MP to the area?
That's the easiest thing you've asked for today. But have you considered the possibility of leaving him with somebody else?
Oh, sure. I considered it for a brief moment.
I'll have to refuse. This house would fall into ruin without me. I can see it now, dust accumulating to the point it's unlivable. I'll be the house's commanding officer until you return from your mission. You can count on me. I'll protect our home.
I mean, what could I say to that?
That's one dependable kid. It's handled. We'll make sure he's safe.
I appreciate it.
Sure. Now then, let's get to the topic at hand.
The 13th Fleet Personnel Distribution Plan.
Shortly thereafter, the officers handpicked by Admirals Young and Kazar came together under the banner of the 13th Fleet. As Vice Commander, they chose seasoned veteran Commodore Fisher, who fought bravely in the Battle of Astarte. For Chief Officer, they selected the meticulous and orderly Commodore Murai. Captain Patrachov, better known among his peers as the Fighter, was chosen for Deputy Chief Officer.
I humbly accept the position. But may I ask why you chose me?
Your skillful fleet management was a great asset to us during the Battle of Astarte. Here's the situation. The 13th will be comprised of survivors from the 4th and 6th fleets, as well as new recruits. And as you can see, it will necessitate highly elaborate coordination.
I understand. Quite an undertaking.
It's good to see you again.
I'm glad you're doing well, Rear Admiral.
That's up for debate. Sadly, I haven't improved at three-dimensional chess. And we met on Iconia.
I admit I wouldn't have expected you to appoint me to this position.
Is it that surprising? I've been waiting for an opportunity to call on you.
He's become a fan of yours after you handled the situation on Iconia.
If I'm tasked with commanding a fleet, I need someone with an attention to detail. I humbly request your assistance.
You shall have it.
By the way, on the matter of the adjutant position,
I take it you found someone?
I did. Graduated from cadet school second in class out of 794, a far superior student to you. They're assigned to the Integrated Tactical Operations Center, with a reputation for an extraordinary memory. Things are busy over there right now. I'll arrange a meeting later.
What to do?
Sub-Lieutenant Frederica Greenhill. I've been assigned to serve as adjutant to Rear Admiral Yang Wen Li.
It's nice to meet you.
Rear Admiral Kazern ordered me to report here.
Well, this is unexpected.
Sir, unexpected how?
It's nothing important. I'm sorry, did you say that your name was Greenhill?
Yes. My father is Admiral Dwight Greenhill, sir.
Oh, yeah, you certainly are far superior to me.
No, not at all. I am young and inexperienced, so I hope to rely on and mature through your guidance.
I'm glad to have you here, Sub-Lieutenant. Did you happen to look over my strategy outline? I'd like to hear your honest opinion.
It's going to work.
I see. And what makes you so confident?
El Fácil. It has been 8 years since you successfully evacuated the planet.
Don't you think that's awfully flimsy grounds for such conviction in me?
Perhaps, but it's more than enough for me. That single event planted absolute trust in the heart of one little girl, and it never left. I was at that airport on El Fácil along with my mother. I'm sure you've long since forgotten me. You were choking on a sandwich, and I brought you a cup of coffee to drink. Your reply was memorable.
What did I say?
Well, Admiral, you said, good timing. I mean, I prefer tea to coffee, but I do appreciate it.
I can't believe I said such a rude thing to you.
You did. Those exact words.
That's impressive. I'm sorry, but concerning that memory, I feel there must be more beneficial uses, wouldn't you agree?
Yes. Thank you, sir.
You heard how they're adding new soldiers to the survivors from the 4th and 6th.
This Yang Wen Li is an inexperienced 20-something. They really expect someone that green to bring down Easer alone? What was going through the chief's mind when he made that dumb decision?
He's a retired soldier that left the battlefield years ago. Looks like dementia's catching up with him.
I sincerely hope you gentlemen don't end up with egg on your face.
Admiral Bucock!
Don't let appearances alone decide your opinion. You may very well be looking at a redwood sapling and laughing because it isn't tall.
It would seem as though the Admiral's in your corner.
I would express my gratitude, but I know he'd just laugh in my face. Still, though, it is reassuring.
That's right. I finally read your strategy outline.
And what do you think?
It's the epitome of recklessness. You've outdone yourself.
It is, isn't it?
So, who are you going to find to star in the leading role? It'll take a real daredevil to pull off a stunt like this.
I believe I've found the perfect candidate for the job.
The Rosenritter, Knights of the Rose. A ground combat force comprised of refugees from the Empire, with tactical skills said to be among the best in all the Alliance. Its 13th regimental commander is Captain Walter von Schoenkopf.
His imperial language won't be an issue?
No, but there are unfavorable rumors.
Go on.
Of all their past captains, a total of 6 defected back to the Empire, and there are concerns he may become the 7th.
Based on what?
He's the 13th captain, and 13 is unlucky.
Got it. So these concerns are groundless, then?
Do you wish to meet with him? I can set up an appointment right away.
No. Thank you, but I'll handle this myself. I am the one asking him for a favor, after all. You're out of luck. This one's mine.
Please, that's what you said the other day, too.
Looks like we got a couple of fish out of water.
This is Admiral Yang Wen Li, and I am Sub-Lieutenant Frederica Greenhill of the 13th Fleet. We came here to speak with Captain Walter von Schoenkopf.
You wouldn't happen to be Admiral Greenhill's daughter, would you? I see the rumors were true. Every last one of them.
Talk about rude. They didn't even bother to salute.
Yeah. The sub-lieutenant and I are actually here on urgent business. We'd like you to introduce us to Captain Schoenkopf immediately.
Well, since you ask so nicely, I'd be happy to show Sub-Lieutenant Greenhill where she might find him.
Rudeness in front of the Admiral will only be tolerated for so long.
That'll do. Stand down. How long are you going to keep up that act? Don't shame yourselves any further.
You are...
Captain Walter von Schoenkopf at your service. Seeing someone as beautiful as you are, man, it makes men revert back into little boys. Same goes for me. Please, forgive us. So, whatever could have brought the hero of El Fácil to our humble barracks, you've piqued my curiosity already.
I'd like to chat with you.
And I assume it's important?
Very much so.
You're right. That's likely the only way to manage it. Being stationed in an invincible fortress tends to make one cocky. Now then, you know I'm the unlucky 13th captain of the Rosenritter. There were 6 previous who turned traitor. What if I end up the 7th?
We're done.
That'd certainly be the case. But you've got a backup plan, right? Surely you've put some countermeasure in place.
Nope. I couldn't come up with anything. If you decide to betray us, then it'll be over. End of story.
We only just met and you're placing your full confidence in me?
The truth is, I'm not very confident. However, if I don't put my faith in you, then the plan's over before it even starts. So I will trust you. That's my #1 prerequisite.
I see. May I ask you a question, Admiral?
Sure.
The orders you were given are utterly impossible. You have half a fleet. Not only that, it's comprised almost entirely of undisciplined troops, and you're going to bring down Iserlohn Fortress. No one would blame you for turning down a suicide mission. So I want to know why you agreed. Was it because you already had this plan in mind? Still, even if that were the case, your motivation remains a mystery to me. Do you crave honor, or perhaps a promotion?
I wouldn't say it's about advancement. It's enough I've already got people addressing me as Sir before I'm 30. Besides, if I make it back from this mission alive, my next course of action is to get out.
What, you mean retire?
Yeah. Well, I get a pension, and there's also retirement pay. It'd be enough to support myself plus another and live comfortably. A modest lifestyle.
You just walk away from the current state of affairs.
That's the thing. It's because of the state of affairs. If our forces occupy Iserlohn, it'd cut off what is really the Empire's only route to invade us. As long as we don't do something stupid like attempting to stage a reverse invasion, neither force would be able to clash even if they wanted. That is, not on a large scale at least. The rest is up to the Alliance's diplomatic skills. But if we've secured a militaristic advantage, then there's a real chance a peace treaty could be forged with the Empire that would be satisfactory to both parties. As far as I'm concerned, I could retire with a clear conscience under those conditions.
Seems you thought of everything, but I wonder how long that peace would last for.
Well, permanent peace has never existed in human history. We're not aiming for the impossible here, Captain. In truth, I don't think it's too much to ask for a few decades of prosperity and calm. If we're going to leave a legacy behind for the next generation to inherit, I'd want it to be one thing. Just one. It's a heritage of peace. And maintaining the tranquility passed on from the previous generation, that would become their responsibility. If each generation can remember their responsibility to future descendants, I believe long-term peace is a real possibility. But, like I mentioned to you before, realistically, I'm hoping for a few decades at the most. But even that would be 10,000 times better than another war that lasted only a tenth that long. Between us, I have a 14-year-old kid I look after. The last thing I want is to watch him get dragged into the battlefield. That's the way I feel.
Beg your pardon, Admiral, but you're either the most honest man alive, or worse, the biggest sophist since Emperor Rudolph.
This strategy sounds like a real gamble.
I don't deny that.
I'm at a loss for words.
Rightly so.
And if this plan should fail?
If things go bad, we turn tail and run.
You can't be serious.
I don't want you to worry. It was an impossible mission to begin with. And the only two people who will be disgraced if we do fail are myself and Chief Satole.
The Admiral and I examined this plan yesterday, and I believe he's right. This is the only way we're going to take Iserlohn.
You're positive? It requires you playing the most dangerous role.
Well, what's the worst that could happen to me? If I'm taken prisoner, it just means I get to go home. Apologies. I guess I took that joke too far.
It may appear foolhardy to you, but I assure you I've thought through this as rationally as I could. By all means, I won't ask anyone to trust me. But I want you to think about something. Consider all the ways to take Iserlohn with half a fleet. There may be a few possible methods, but I think we'd arrive at the same conclusion.
Understood, Admiral. The 13th will begin preparations to dispatch at once.
A non-navigable sector of space exists between the Alliance and Imperial territories. Iserlohn Fortress is located on the one and only passable route through. Stationed at this formidable base were two Imperial admirals. One was the fortress's commander, Admiral Stockhausen. The other was the commander of the fortress garrison, Admiral Siegt. Naturally, the existence of two positions with identical ranks created a heated antagonism. The two men despised and endlessly cursed one another, but whenever the Alliance launched an attack, they competed, refusing to let the other have all the glory, and thus their rivalry led to tremendous gains on the battlefield.
I've heard communications in the vicinity of the fortress have been disrupted for the past 2 days. What's going on?
It's clear the enemy is present, but we are unable to locate their position.
We should deploy our forces immediately.
I believe I said we don't know their current location.
Precisely why we should move out. To sniff out where they're hiding before they mobilize.
Admiral, it appears we're picking up a transmission. It's weak, very unstable, fading in and out.
What does it say?
Sir, we are an Imperial cruiser under secret orders to conduct espionage within Alliance territory. During a mission, the rebels detected us, and we left the area, only to be pursued and come under enemy fire inside the corridor. Requesting immediate backup from Iserlohn. End transmission.
It's not clear where in the corridor they are. We have no choice but to deploy.
Your Excellency, a moment?
Yes, Oberstein? Do you have something you wish to contribute?
Yes, sir.
Very well. Let's hear it.
To be perfectly blunt, I believe we're walking into a trap.
A trap?
Yes. One intended to draw our fleet away from Iserlohn. We mustn't go out. We should observe before making our move.
The enemy is waiting out there. Are you saying that we'll lose if we launch an attack? We're soldiers, and as such, our duty in life is to fight. Rather than idling in safety, we should be proactive in hunting down and destroying the enemy. Besides, how can we abandon one of our distressed ships?
I don't know, Admiral Siecht. Your staff officer raises a valid objection. We don't know the location of the rebels or our ship. Why don't we wait a little bit?
No. The fleet will sortie as soon as preparations are complete.
I wouldn't mind if he returned bruised and bloodied.
Another incoming message. We will soon arrive in the optical range of Iserlohn, but the rebel forces are still in pursuit, requesting backup.
Very well. Prepare to attack.
Sir.
Where the hell did Siecht disappear to?
Ship's on screen.
Enlarge. Prepare to fire. Very wise. Looks like they know how hopeless it is.
Another transmission from the ship.
Put it on the monitor.
Lieutenant Commander Larkin reporting. I request an urgent audience with your fortress commander. Next time on Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Die Neue These, Episode 7, The Capture of Iserlohn, Part 2.